ship, and his honor remains
We have to
Brandon.
check. The honor might still be there.
It's
debatable.
Know. We're not sure. And below me, I have Anna, Queen of Dragons, Queen of Books, Mother of Flames, all of the things. I am running out of title ideas.
Running out of titles.
Yeah, titles are at a premium here, and I am in my new home. I apologize if it's echoey because I don't have all my stuff on my bookshelves and everything yet. We're working through it, and we're getting through it. Hopefully, my internet is a lot better here. So that is
so far so good.
It is a lot nicer here. So we'll roll on with the changes there. You guys, let's just start off. We don't always do this, but let's start off. What is something that we have all read or watched this week? And I know, Brandon, you've had a busy week, so you don't necessarily have to jump on this category, but what is something that we've all read or watched this week that we would recommend that isn't the main thing that we're going to talk about this week?
I can actually discuss that.
Oh, yay.
Because I am at the final hour of A Parade of Horribles, which is Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 8, which honestly didn't get really good until towards the end. Every dungeon level has a different theme, and it's all based on this AI who's consumed the world's culture through social media and TV and stuff, and so like every level's different. This one was more of like a Twisted Metal kind of thing, like Mario Kart meets Twisted Metal meets complete nonsense. And I feel like they're setting up for book 9 and 10. There's a lot more story exposition than there is like localized, but it's really good. I'm so nervous. I'm scared to finish it. I've always marveled at this book's ability to go from just irreverent nonsense to like gut punch emotions. Just, like you'll on the top of the page, there's a guy beating somebody to death with a sock full of nickels, and then like the next sentence, Princess Donut says something that makes you want to cry. It's kind of wild. But that's really all I've gotten to consume this week, other than spending time with the kid who likes to poke his hand in the camera every once in a while. He doesn't want to be famous. He just wants you to see his palms, I guess.
I get it.
There they are. But yeah, so other than work, that's what I've been doing all week.
All right. What about you, Anna?
Let's see. Well, like Brandon, I too have been spending most of my week with my kids. So we've been watching The Miraculous Ladybug. Quite cute. Kind of reminds me of Sailor Moon. But they all like it. So it's like one of those things, where you find a show that they'll all sit down and watch, and it's like also equally entertaining for you. So that's a win for me. It's cute. And then what have I been reading? I'm still working on The Wheel of Time, but I also am reading The Odyssey. So if you haven't read The Odyssey, it is quite good before the movie comes out. I like to try to read the source material before going to see the movie.
The Odyssey rules.
Yes.
I just finished listening to an audiobook of it, and it was wonderful. That was my big thing that I listened to this week. I have been, let's see, what have I watched? Oh, we've been watching the new season of The Bear. I love The Bear. It's such a good show.
Is that the restaurant one?
Yeah.
I keep seeing it, and I keep wanting to watch it. And I'm like,
it's really
always
good.
Too many kids around.
And this is the last season, so it's me and my wife have been watching it together. So like we've been watching it like 10, 15 minutes at a time when we get to see each other because we're both so busy. But it's been really good to get to watch some of that. So that's been really nice. And like I said, I read a little bit of the Odyssey, and then...
Did you read all of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got through all of it. I'm only in book 3, I think, of was it 15 books or something?
Yeah, 15 or whatever it is. Well, awesome. Well, why don't we move on to our main prophecy of the week, and we will talk about House of the Dragon, Season 3, Episode 2, Queen's Landing. And this episode, like many others, is one of the best episodes that is... well, it's the highest rated on IMDb.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the highest rating House of the Dragon, and I think Game of Thrones episode, which is wild. But like many of the other episodes that are highly regarded in the show, they aren't necessarily the big action-packed episodes, like they aren't the big battle episodes. They're the ones right after the big action episodes. So think about last season, the episode after the blood and cheese incident happened. The episode after that, where everyone is reacting to that, and like
the consequences episode.
Yeah, the consequences episodes are always great because people have fucked around and now they are finding out. And Rhaenyra was effing around all season last season, and she found out in a terrible way at the expense of her son, at the expense of the Valyrian fleet. Corlys was fucking around too. Like everyone has been messing around this whole last season, and it is so cathartic to see everyone like have to deal with the consequences of their actions in this last season. What do you think of it, Anna, in general?
So I definitely love, because I think we talked about it last episode with Corlys and his son and how, he had to like step in all of those times that his father didn't do what he was supposed to do, and how at the beginning he couldn't even like acknowledge him. But, he got his acknowledgement. So I really enjoyed that. I think this was a good episode of resolution, but also I like seeing all of the new pieces that are being introduced because I completely forgot that the woman who is Rhaenyra's, I don't know what you want to call her, like her consultant, her little personal assistant, she's,
Mazara, yeah.
yes, she was the other woman, the woman that
Yeah.
Damon brought there in season like 1,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
literally in like the second episode of the show.
Right. So
Damon,
she's
like,
done
yeah,
a full 360 on her, or 180, I guess, on her power dynamic or power skill, where she was
yeah,
within the hierarchy. And then also the witch lady. I don't know. That whole, I don't know. There's a lot of things happening. I'm very excited for next. So this is the episode of like building anticipation for what's about to happen and also give us closure on what did happen. It's like a bridge, I guess.
yeah.
So I like what's going to come in the coming episodes. I feel like this was just a lot of loose ends tied up, if you will,
Yeah.
or maybe new loose ends created, depending on
Well,
how we look at it.
a little bit of both because it's
A little bit of
attempts-
everything.
Yeah, well, it's people's attempts to tie up loose ends, but they end up cutting the strings of those loose ends, and they end up creating new loose ends that need to be tied up again. One of my favorite scenes, and I think that this is hardly this may be the coldest take of the episode, is Rhaenyra grieving her son Jace. And this is just absolutely heartbreaking. It's horrendous. It's the part where like you see her go through the stages of grief where
Yes.
she is she's yelling at him to Jace, what are you doing? What have you done? And like she's
Almost like if she
acts
acts like it hasn't happened, then it like wouldn't be happening kind of a thing. Like you can see her fighting with the reality of it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it right now too, so like it's just like, oh
it's
yeah,
so good. Well, and this whole episode is filled with these moments that are just like absolutely incredible, including but not limited to that scene. Like them carrying his body into Dragonstone is just this beautiful, beautiful scene. It's just all like painted beautifully, and then her Queen's Guard like tries to like pick her up and move her away from the body, and she like throws him off and is like, how dare you lay your hands on me? Like I'm not just a woman, I am the queen. And he offers up his life in forfeit for the mistakes that were made for Jaehaerys's death. And
I mean, what he did was treason. Technically, he imprisoned the queen against her will. That's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing, and he definitely
in the best interest of the queen. Yes.
Yeah. But but it was also like sexism.
I think we said this last time. It wouldn't have happened if it was a king.
Exactly. And then she says the line that was quoted like in the trailers and everything. Have you not betrayed your queen? And she's yelling at all of her staffers and everyone because they, like you saw in the last episode, her screams and her cries for help were echoing through Dragonstone, and no one did anything because she's a woman. Like again, if she was a king, not a queen, her staff would have been running to help her. But because she was a queen, she was seen as acting delusional, acting irrational, and acting on her emotions, and it did not allow her to like feel that she had any agency in the situation. Any other thoughts with this scene, Anna?
Oh no, I thought you meant about the episode in general. We were gonna go see my scene. Okay. That's my bad.
I was thinking in general too, but also this scene.
No, this actually, just as a mother, I was just like, this is making me extra sad, so I might have skipped a little bit of it because it was a lot of crying.
It was a lot of crying.
It was a lot of crying.
Yeah.
But I think in general, losing child after child I don't think she says it yet, but at some point she does mention, all of the children she loses in this pursuit of the throne, and then, scenes like that really make you wonder if it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Well, and it's the whole thing that like the Valerian household goes through, where he like Corlys, he in pursuit of the throne, he not only lost his son and his daughter, but he also lost his wife. Like he lost everything in trying to put himself closer to the throne, and it was this whole like tragic thing that kept happening. Like he just kept losing and losing and losing. And let's see, what is the next scene? Rhaena goes to the Vale, and
Yeah, ancient.
She seeks asylum from Rhaenyra because
she accidentally did a bad thing.
Yeah, I accidentally went into a war with a dragon who I could not control, and basically fried a bunch of our own people. So can I come?
May or may not have killed the prince.
Yeah. Can I come stay at your house, Miss?
She's like, you get that mess out of my house.
Listen,
she said, do not bring that here.
Do not bring that here. Listen, I can't tell your dragon where to sleep, so like you can hang out.
But you, she was like, be John Cena. I did not see you.
I did not see you here. And then we get a sweet. The next scene is we're in the Riverlands.
Yes, the merry men.
The merry men, and they're singing a sweet song about fish food. and
yes, fish food. I like the call and response of this.
It's so good.
It was a break. This is like a completely different, like a complete break from everything that's been going on this entire 3 seasons. So it was nice to. But I feel like this in of itself is foreshadowing about how like intense things are gonna get because it feels so light right now. I can't remember this man's name, but I know his
Simon
fate.
Strong.
Yes, him, sir, Mr. Don't. I won't fight you. Please come into my home. Yeah.
Yeah. Please have the beans and
the beans man.
R.I.P. We'll get to it here in a minute. But
yeah.
We see in the background, what is her name? Allie Blackwood. And she's the gal who has like the cool face paint and stuff. She's a sweet.
Okay.
In the books, she is a sweet character. Brandon, do you want to talk a little bit about that? She's the Blackwood like sweet archer gal.
Yeah. God. Was she the one? Refresh my memory. You know more about her than I do. That's the one that.
She does a bunch of cool stuff in the books. She's like more involved in multiple battles and stuff, and she shoots weirwood arrows. She's awesome.
Ooh,
yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
She's cool. She's one of the coolest characters. The problem with this show is that it is 3 seasons and that there are only so many episodes. So like the Cosmere and like everything else, we're adapting it into big budget TV shows. So we can only have so many episodes, and we were talking about this a little bit off air before we jumped on here. if we don't want these shows to have like each episode to have the budget of $17 and a bagel, then we can only have so many episodes of these shows. And so the consequence of that is a lot of stuff has to get cut. And unfortunately, a lot of stuff that gets cut from like this is a lot of the background characters. There are so many background characters that are talked about how they feel and what they're doing and all the battles and stuff. So a lot of that is getting cut from House of the Dragon, which is probably a good thing because we probably don't need all of that, but it's still a shame.
And
I feel like we have a lot of the world building already, so it's like. Because we know the Game of Thrones universe at this point. Everybody's well acquainted.
And
Sorry, Brandon, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say, she's the one that was married to Stark, wasn't she? Doesn't she become? She might not be at that point, but she's the Lord of Winterfell at some point?
Yeah, I do feel like she does marry a Stark at some point because.
Well, you said Alice, right? What was her name?
Not Alice. Alice Rivers. Is
okay.
Whole different thing. She's the witch who is talking to Daemon in this episode.
She's okay because there's the Daemon witch, and then there was I guess not. She's not a witch. She's
Allie
just
Blackwood.
Yes.
She's the cool archer gal. Different person, but
Are they rolling their characters in together? Because I haven't seen a cool
No,
archer chick this
no.
episode.
So the cool archer chick isn't really in the episode, but
Okay.
Damon gets word that Rhaenyra that there's stuff afoot, or that Jace has
That Jace
died,
is dead.
and there's all sorts of stuff going on at Dragonstone. And he's like, oh man, I have to leave my cool drinking buddies and go back to
Party's over.
go home and see my wife. Ugh, how the worst.
Buzzkill.
Cannot relate. My wife is awesome. And
Good.
then, so he has a little scene with her and with the witch, and she is like, "Hey, I did all of this. Like, it's heavily implied in the last season that like she assassinated the old Lord of Riverrun, and like she does all this behind the scenes stuff to raise Daemon an army of Rivermen." And so she's like, "Hey, in return for all this stuff that I've done afterwards, I want Harrenhal." And he's like, "No, we can't. No, we can't do that. You're not married. You're a bastard. Like, there is no way that we are going to make you the Lord."
Well, that's true. She needs to be married. I'm sorry, I'm putting other things together because,
Yeah. So
sorry, continue. Coming to my own. I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but
it's a whole
it's
thing.
messy enough.
It's messy, and so and it's a whole thing because the whole point of Rhaenyra's quote unquote like revolution that she's doing is women should be able to inherit, and we are upending the patriarchy. And Daemon's like, yeah, but that's just for my wife. Like, we're not really upending the patriarchy. It's just a one specific case for my wife.
White women liberalism. Oh, sorry.
And so there's this cool dynamics at play that is like, yeah, Daemon obviously doesn't support all women being able to inherit, but
Just his woman.
Yeah, but will Rhaenyra. And then we cut to the Valerian family, and finally, all the homies are hanging out. We've got Bela, we've got Alan and Adam, and finally, after years and years, Adam and Alan are legitimized, and they are Valerians, and they're given the name, and at least Adam is says, well, they're sitting on the coast of High Tide, and they're watching Corlys's castle burn, and he's like, man, I don't have anything to give you guys.
If this is what victory looks like, I never want to win again.
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's ripped straight from the books. It's like, if this is a victory, then I hope I never live to see another one. Oh, what a sad deal. But also, we get some good conversations between them, and finally he acknowledges his bastard children, and then we get a little scene with Larry and Aegon, and Aegon's being like super passive aggressive. He's like,
I'm not talking to you.
Yeah,
That's why I haven't asked for the milk of the puppy. Like, oh, okay, you really are testy today, aren't you?
Yeah, Larry's
I like the part that. Sorry,
Go
go ahead. I was gonna say because they're in their little stagecoach on their way to wherever, and then of course they get like ambushed by God knows who. They don't know what's going on outside, and then he like opens the door to peek. And he's like, I am surprised at what I see. And then he's like, sir, I think you should come back inside now after like arrows are just like flying. Like, come back inside.
Yeah. And
it's safer in the little jail.
In our little jail, we're at least
in the cage.
Prisoners. Yeah. They would have just killed us if they would have thought that we were just random people, but at least now we're high value prisoners and we'll probably be escorted to the queen, so at least she can behead us. And Aegon does not take that very kindly, so
he's still like, what the fuck, man?
What's going on? This scene is funny. Like, there are the Tyroshi fighting against people of the whole area, and then we cut to King's Landing, and Alicent is in the Gold Cloak's changing room, and she is talking, and she's like, hey, whoever you are, Lord of the Kingsguard, I need to know that you will respect Helena's authority, because technically she is the one who's in charge here since all the lads are gone. And he's like, well, I don't, that's like kind of treason. And she's like, no, it's not, because Helena's in charge.
She's the queen. She said it.
Yeah, she said it, not me. And then we cut back. Damon has arrived in Dragonstone, and he bumps into Ulf and what's his face, Hugh, and
What? Where were you?
Why are you here? Why are you not where we said you to go? And they're like, well, we waited, and he's like, 2 days? You waited 2 days, and then you abandoned your post, and they're like, well, the other guy did too, and he's like, well, then you're all traitors, and it doesn't matter. And these two just look pathetic.
It's giving Howler from Molly Weasley, like.
Yeah. Where have you been? Bed's gone? No note? You could have died.
No dragon?
You could have been seen.
You didn't kill anybody. You weren't where you were supposed to be.
Dragon's gone? No note? You could have died. You could have been eaten by Vagar.
It is funny to see how big Vagar is compared to the other dragons. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then we get an excellent scene between Damon and Mazzaria, and they are kind of butting heads because they have this whole messy history that goes all the way back to season 1 when Damon...
Tangled Threads.
Yeah, Tangled Threads, which is, again, very symbolic. And the we have to go back to the very beginning because the tapestry got an update. It got an update for the Battle of the Gullet, and it was super...
I like how even in like Game of Thrones, every cutscene kind of foreshadowed like where you were going to be on the map or like what was kind of going on.
Yeah.
Which I kind of appreciate as like a frame of reference.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And it's just really cool to watch.
How the events of this one go. And then we cut to Emma Darcy, and she is catatonic in bed. There's a brief scene of Alicent talking to one of the Queen's Guard, or of the King's Guard in King's Landing, and he's like, hey, please hang out with me. Aemond is gone, the city is perilous, and she is looking for the lord of that household guard for some reason. And then we cut back to Emma Darcy and Matt Smith, Rhaenyra and Damon. And Emma Darcy continues to put out an absolutely Emmy-worthy performance. She is just chewing the scenery here in her grief, in her despair, in her rage. It is not good. Then we cut to Alicent in the...
this scene. Now, who is this guy? Who is...
So he
is he part of the Senate, the High Council, whatever the hell they called it?
Yeah, he's part of the Small Council.
Oh, the Small Council, okay.
And I think he's Master of Laws. I think he's...
He said he was Master of Laws, but as they were... Because I didn't catch his name. I thought he said Laurel or Loris or something, but that was the other guy, I thought.
Yeah, he is...
There's so many names.
What is his name?
That all sound alike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be Sir Lawrence, Sir Laurel, and Sir, something else.
He has a name that is like... He's the Iron Rod for the strength of his his laws and the tragedy of his rod.
Well.
Yeah. And yeah, not good stuff is going on in this scene. It continues to play to the dynamics that martial power is still more important than
Lord Jasper.
Lord Jasper.
There it is.
Yeah,
but yes, this wouldn't have happened if she was a king.
If she was a man and she had been taught to wield a sword, and if she was a man in general, this would not have happened.
I feel like in general, he wouldn't have come in with such intention. As soon as he came in, I was like, that man should not have locked that door the way he did. That man should not be walking towards the queen the way he is. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But
I do like that the maester came in and was like, I know what I saw. Don't tell me what I didn't see. Arrest this man.
Arrest this man.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, get him. And then the goats, they fly to King's Landing. And we get another just incredible scene between Alicent and Helena. And Helena is the absolute goat of this episode. And
I loved Helena.
For some reason.
She's got Elena's contribution to this situation. I thought was amazing.
It is amazing. I'm trying to.
I don't know who it is. He's like the captain of something outside, and she's like, "Hey, when Rhaenyra gets here, you should just let her walk in because we all don't want to burn to death." And he's like, "Whose orders are these?" That's not what the prince told me. And then she's like, "I don't want any beasts to be harmed." And she's like doing her little like, "I did my part" in the background. I was like, "Yes, you did your part, girl."
She is she is simply a what do you call it?
Lover of animals. She is
an animal rights
humanitarian.
Activist. Yes. And then we cut to Crispy Cole and
Crispy Cole,
as it were, and we see Vagar flying over their army, and he is flying towards Harrenhal. And they gather up their army, and they're all excited. Yeah, we're going to Harrenhal! And we'll get all the crows and ravens and stuff flying out of Harrenhal, and we see how it has been burned before. This is not the first time that Harrenhal has seen Dragonfire. And Vagar was one of the dragons. Or I don't know if it was. I think it was Blackfire, or not Blackfire. Balerion that burned Harrenhal the first time, actually. Then that was Viserys' dragon and King Aegon's dragon. And I love the tactics that Vagar uses here, where she burns like a circle around the city or around the castle first to keep everyone inside and to keep all that, and then she lands, and Aemon is able to dismount her and go gnash it up. But like, she also just absolutely incinerates people. Like, you see the pure power that Vagar has, and not only that, but her size is such a weapon, because she's able to like knock down pillars.
Massive.
She is massive. She's a dinosaur. She is a titan. She is meant to represent pure, unbridled power, with no checks and no balances besides the whims of one crazy blonde man.
Crazy blonde man with one eye.
Yes, with one eye. And we get to see some of Aemon's prowess in battle. He just takes on this whole...
He's just crushing it.
Yeah, he is just absolutely ripping through these guys. I mean, I haven't seen anyone do it like him.
Okay, the scene where he comes in now, this whole scene, I want to hear your take on this, because I was just... so many emotions going on for me.
Yeah.
Because I like the old guy. So that aside.
The old guy. And I don't know. This whole scene is hard because his two gormless sons are there, and I don't know. This is only the second time that I'm watching it too, so I kind of need to get my thoughts together as well. But he's like, yeah, I'm claiming I seek Daemon Targaryen, and then he's like, I confess, we weren't expecting you.
Like, there's nobody here except that's with our beans. He didn't even get to offer him the beans.
Yeah, he
didn't even have time.
I have no sword. I do not wish to oppose.
Well, now you do. You have no sword. Here, let me give you one. That's just rude, honestly. You can't come into somebody's house and just stab them.
I haven't wielded a blade in many years. He asks if he's seeking some sort of satisfaction, which is sweet, and because Aemon is the one who is always like seeking satisfaction and never can find it, just like Daemon, just like his idol Daemon, who like can never find any sort of satisfaction, even with the women who he's sleeping with, even with like all the battles that he's fighting. He never seems to find satisfaction, which is crazy. And then R.I.P. Simon Strong, my favorite character, unceremoniously cut down. It's so sad.
I was talking about the next part of this scene in regards to what do you think happens? Like, I guess we're going to find out next episode, but like, oh, you already read the book, so you kind of know.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's going to be the same.
Yeah, he just, like, without mercy, cuts down the other two sons, but he does get stabbed a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, he gets wounded just a little bit, and then...
his butt is scratched.
And then old Alice Rivers shows up, and I guess we'll see what happens next episode. And the 4 dragons fly over King's Landing, but they have been ordered not to shoot. So this part of Alicent's plan comes to fruition, and Caraxes is just looking so cool. I love the scenes that are from the townspeople, like the common folks' perspective, mirroring the scenes. And like, it was terrible. Like, it did not fit the plot of the show at that point. They had not earned the character development to do it. But the scenes of Daenerys burning King's Landing were so cathartic and stuff. And even though it wasn't earned and they didn't do the plot development to lead up to that point in her story arc, which I do think that's where her story arc is going in the books as well, it's just taking longer and doing it correctly. I think that whether she accidentally or on purpose burns King's Landing, she is going to burn King's Landing in the books. But
you don't think she did that on purpose?
I know she did it on purpose in the show, but I think in the books she might like accidentally do it because of wildfire or something like that and get blamed for it, even though she wasn't trying to burn down the whole city. But I digress. Rhaenyra lands on Syrax and she is absolutely dripped out. She is looking like a Valerian dragon lord of old, and Daemon walks through the castle, draws his sword, and is just absolutely ready to slay. And the men of House Hightower lay down their swords for Rhaenyra, and then we cut into the Iron Throne, and there's a whole host of men led by the one Kingsguard dude, and they have a confrontation, and the men of the Gold Cloaks come and come to help their old master, their old lord, and the men of the Greens surrender, and they lead away the men of the Hightowers and the one of the Kingsguard. And Rhaenyra is finally allowed to sit the Iron Throne, and she walks before, but she doesn't sit it in this scene. And then they all rush through the castle. There's this whole scene. They find the maester. They're hunting for Alicent and Rhaenyra, or Alicent and Helena in the streets, but they don't find them yet. But they do find one man in the dungeon, and it makes Daemon just so happy to see his old
Yes,
friend.
I'm curious to see who this person is.
It shows who it is.
Oh, really? That's who that was? I thought there was going to be somebody else.
No. It's
Dang.
Otto. It is Otto.
That's less. I thought it was going to be like some like ally that was going to like do something else incredible, but I guess he's okay. Consolation prize, I guess.
Like Daemon has hated him like since the first episode
True.
of the show. It's this whole ongoing plot from the very first episode that Daemon hates him, and he is really the one who is responsible for this horror war. Like Viserys, obviously, but he is the one who plotted and schemed to get Alicent to have children with Viserys and did set that whole thing in motion. And Daemon, after discovering that he is in the dungeons, brings him to the throne room and tells Rhaenyra, hey, you should personally behead him. He is the one who's caused all this. It is your duty as a queen to do the one who swings the sword. And this is a almost Stark-like notion. And she is about to do it, and she does it.
She does do it, yeah.
Yeah.
She hits him first in the back, and then like the second time she hits him, she cuts straight through the back of his neck, which I think shows that like she could have done it in one swing if she had aimed properly, but I think she was too grief-stricken in the moment. Because she did it with her eyes closed. She was like,
yeah. And the blood of this scene, the way that they shot this scene is just beautiful, because she walks in literal bloody footprints
all the way to her throne.
Iron Throne, and she is crying this whole time because she didn't want to have to do all this. She didn't want to bathe the realm in blood to carve her way to the Iron Throne, but here she is anyway, and she has finally ascended the steps of the Iron Throne. And when she sits down, she sees Alicent, and that is
they bring her in.
The episode ends. Such a wild episode. It deviates wildly from the book, but I think it makes for a cathartic episode.
Because I mean, like, in a sense, wasn't Alicent planning to flee with Helena and the baby anyway and leave her father to rot in a cell? So like,
yeah. And well, I don't even know if she knew that he was in the cells. That's the thing that is really confusing.
Oh, maybe.
Because at this point in the books, he's already dead. Yeah, so it's a little murky. That whole point is a little murky. I'm not exactly sure what they were doing with that. I wonder if like Aemon put him down there, or if something happened there, because we saw him in the cart last episode or last season, and we didn't really know who had him prisoner or what was going on. But it's a whole thing.
So many WTF moments for sure.
Seriously. All right, guys.
I'm interested to see how the rest of it goes.
I'm excited to see how the rest of it goes. I really thought that this was a great episode. I really enjoyed all of it. I thought that like Emma's acting was just amazing. Everyone's acting in this whole episode is just phenomenal. Like just absolutely incredible. They all just act their absolute booties off. Some of the scenes are just like straight out of like a I don't know. I want to hang them on my wall as a poster because it's just so cool. Like the cinematography is amazing. I absolutely love this.
We yearn for what?
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Any other thoughts on this or any other? Brandon, what anime have you watched this week?
Recently.
Or recently?
You know me too well. We've been watching.
I felt bad because you haven't. You
a little bit. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I can't wait to catch up. So I'm trying to listen and tune everything out at the same time. Out at the same time. But there's a really good one called Wisteria Wand and Sword season 2's come out. We've been watching that. I'd ask him, but he fell asleep on the floor.
What the heck?
Oh, here's a question for you. Vinland Saga, what age would you say that's appropriate for? Because my 12-year-old wants to watch it, or she hasn't asked yet, but it's one of the ones I can see that she's been eyeballing recently. And I haven't watched it myself.
It's mature in a way, kind of like The Witcher is mature. If you've ever played that game, it's very adult. There's a lot of adult themes. It's not, I mean, the worst thing you really have to worry about is it's a little gory. You know, there's a lot of action.
But it's not like Full Metal Alchemist and like My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen, I think.
Yeah, well, if she watches Jujutsu Kaisen, it's not worse.
It'll be fine.
Oh, okay, cool. We're good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not worse than that. Because Jujutsu Kaisen
it's so funny trying to gauge what's age appropriate these days.
Well, and it's more historically accurate, so it's more
we're actually talking about Vikings right now in school, so I thought when you mentioned Vikings, I was like, oh, I can like sneak this one in there, and we can be like, hey, this is about what we've been discussing.
It's so good. It's great because it does have a lot of actually historical people. Leif Erikson's in it, and Prince Canute, and all them are actual people.
Yeah,
but I think it'd be okay. I don't think because there's not a lot of adult situations. It's just a lot of action.
Yeah, the fan service is mostly what we try to avoid. I mean,
there's none. There's really no fan service of that nature that I can remember off the top of my head, and I've only seen it 19 times. So
yeah,
there you go. Okay, so good.
I was gonna say I've only seen like the first part of it, but I really can't think of anything that's like that I.
No, it's a very emotionally heavy show, but past that, there's no fan service. There's no campiness to it whatsoever. It's very serious, very straightforward, epic Viking fantasy. Well, epic Viking history, because technically it's not fantasy.
It's like it has fantastical elements in some parts of it, kind of, but like.
But there's no magic, right? It's not a magic one.
No.
Okay, yeah.
It's like I don't know. It like guys who can like punch a horse is like the most fantastical that it gets, basically.
And the fact that the main character can stop a broadsword with 2 daggers, and in real life, that's not really a thing that can happen. But
you can't really do that.
But in anime, it can.
Yeah, and we like to do that in fiction in general. In fiction, we love to give people who are smaller stature 2 daggers and say, "Oh, you can fight a 300-pound man with a 90-pound sword," and really
pitching a sword like this.
Yeah,
every time.
In actuality, you're not even going to get close enough to touch him. Like that's the whole point of the sword.
Man with great axe beats all.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but in real life, Arya can't beat the mountain. It's just not going to happen. No matter how good she is.
No.
Didn't she leave him to die?
Oh no, that's the Hound.
That's the Hound.
The Hound, right?
Yeah.
And then he becomes a monk, and then.
He's a great character. He's great in the show, and he's even better in the books.
I liked him in the books.
He's even better.
I'm glad they didn't take away his goodness in the because I feel like they gave so many characters good, like Varys. Where did Varys come from? He was not nearly as good, nice, I don't know. Overall, appealing in the book. Book Varys was kind of
way more wormy and slimy. underhanded.
Really quick, I need your guys' top choices for most tragic deaths in anime,
Okay.
or in fantasy or sci-fi, because I'm too short on my list and I need.
I mean, you already have Boromir, right?
Yeah. Boromir's on there.
Okay.
I'm not
Dobby?
gonna lie.
I've got Dobby.
At the end of Wayne from Alloys, I cried. I cried a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
Hedwig. I died when Hedwig died.
Wayne is perfectly fine. Don't worry about it, Brandon.
You're fine.
It's a good one though. So, I mean.
And, everybody's going to say, of course, I have to go Red Rising, and everybody's going to say Cassius, but honestly, Ragnar might be.
Okay, Ragnar's on.
Yeah, I mean, Ragnar is tough, especially since we're talking about Vikings. Ragnar is the sci-fi Viking.
I liked Ragnar.
All right. Well, for our first matchup in our bracket, really quick for the clipping, this is our bracket of the top 11 most tragic fantasy deaths, fantasy, sci-fi, that sort of thing. I just kind of pulled some names out of a hat on this one, so this might not be a comprehensive list because it's only 11 names, but this is some that I felt were particularly tragic in my list. So for the number one matchup, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Bianca D'Angelo.
Bianca.
Yeah.
That's my vote.
Bianca has my vote, personally.
I mean, Obi-Wan kind of chose to, he kind of...
He went out like a G, but yeah.
He wanted to be one with the Force.
Yeah. I think Bianca has to go on in that. Okay.
And have y'all kept up with the Star Wars canon? Have you watched the TV shows and things like that?
I have. There's so many that have come out.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that I've been meaning to catch up on. But like I've watched Mandalorian and I've watched some of Andor. And then I can't remember if the Leia one was a movie or a TV show, but I remember watching some of that one too. There's so many. And then also the Clone Wars, like the animated stuff too. Like I kind of
so good.
I swear,
I love Darth Maul. So
Casey, I won't go too far off the rails here, but
No,
here's my watch order for Star Wars, because I'm a fan of the machete order.
Do it.
But it's a modified machete order.
Okay.
Because after you watch episode 2, you need to watch the Clone Wars, because they do Anakin so wrong in episode 3, because they make him sound like such a whiny dude, and they don't ever go, "Hey guys,
you don't have the context."
Fought as a general in the war for the last 14 years or whatever,
And they still don't grant him the rank of master. Like,
it's
ridiculous.
Yeah, they did not do him justice. And that was what I was alluding to, because if you watch everything on a whole, I think there's a big twist in the story, and it's not a retcon twist. This is just my opinion. But I think Darth Vader defeating Obi-Wan is kind of that first step towards vindication that you get in the, obviously Luke's the one that turns him in the end. But, his master, he's always got that grudge against Obi-Wan. And there's a billion TikTok edits, so I'm hopefully not ruining anything for y'all. But in the Obi-Wan show, they fight again. And Darth Vader tells him, he's like, don't, because Obi-Wan has this huge feeling of failing Anakin, and he tells him in the show, he's like, don't worry, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, that is one of the most powerful Star Wars moments, and people don't even watch those shows. To me, like, that was like, I was in tears. I'm not even gonna lie, because you're looking at half his burned face. The voice is cutting too.
Yeah, it's half Darth Vader, half like that. That should have been a movie, because if you cut out all the fluff out of that show, it has some of the most Star Wars moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that we've ever gotten. It's crazy.
And it's the biggest setup, because now you understand what he was doing all that time.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, back.
We glazed over the actual death we were talking about.
Yes. We glazed over Bianca D'Angelo because we all know that one's tragic, and we're all gonna cry when the next season of Percy Jackson and the Olympians comes out.
Yeah, but
this year,
as on the Percy aspect, did you include Bianca and not include Zoe? Because Zoe was way worse for me.
Oh, see, Bianca is way worse for me, because I don't know. I feel like I have a sister that I am very close with in the same way that Nico and Bianca are very close, and I think that one for me is much more tragic, but I also agree that Zoe is a little bit.
Selena Beauregard?
Yeah, Selena's pretty bad. Jason Grace, if you haven't read if you read the Trials of Apollo, Jason.
That was rough. That is a rough one.
Yeah, There are a lot, especially in the later books, that they just absolutely.
Breckendorf, he was a tough one.
Beckendorf, yeah, that one's rough. All right, well, not maybe when the show comes out, we'll do another one with this just Percy Jackson ones because you really could. Yeah. For our next matchup, we are going to have Jacaerys Velaryon versus Wayne from.
Wayne.
Yeah, probably Wayne.
I'm gonna go with y'all about Wayne. And not because I like his world. Wayne's world's great.
Wayne's world is great, and
Wayne's world was great.
Was great. I mean, Scadrial first and all. Like my man Kelsier says. My favorite fascist Kelsier says that.
My favorite fascist.
Have you not seen those like posters and stuff?
We want you.
We want you. We want you as a new recruit. Okay. Anyway.
Picking Antium, that's like the Antium mine.
Antium stuff. Man, that's great. You'll understand this more once you have you started Mistborn?
I have started the first one, but I'm not super far into it. I'm trying to power through before the end of the year so that I'm not at Dragonsteel not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
I got my friend to start it too. She just sent it I sent it to her. I was like, she was like, I've heard this is a really good book. I was like, you want to read it? I have it on ebook. I'll send you my physical copy. Do you want the audiobook? Whatever I can do to make this happen, I'm gonna do it right now.
So what part are you at in Mistborn, Brandon?
Just literally like maybe a couple chapters in. I got the opening with the bald guy? I forgot his name already. That burns the house down, and
Kelsier, who burns the.
Is that who? Okay, and he eats the tin or whatever. I'm still trying to understand how this is all working.
It'll get explained.
Gnaws on some metal.
Yeah.
He just. And I'm older, so I was trying to say that to Clint, my friend, who's obsessed with it just like Casey is, and I was like, and then he ate some tin foil, and the guy's like, foil?
Like, imagine if you had pica, but it gave you magical powers. God.
I'm sure that if the show gets that popular, we're gonna have an uptick of heavy metal poisoning somewhere.
Oh no!
I'm sure. It's actually a movie. So Mistborn is a movie, and
okay,
Mistborn's gonna be a movie. Way of Kings is gonna be the TV show. Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense because when we talk about Mistborn, especially in regards to like any one of the Stormlight Archives books, I feel like it's all three of Mistborn. Like you could call 1, 2, and 3 a book, and then Alloy's its own book in a sense.
Yeah.
Like in regards to length for the other one.
Yeah, exactly. They'll obviously have to cut some stuff still, but I feel like you could tell like it's all of the Mistborn, like especially the first 3, really fit nicely into a beginning, middle, end. But they also tell a nice overarching story. So I think I'm really excited for that. Did you see he has a 3-book? He calls it his standalone novel starter pack, and the first Mistborn is in there. I was like, that right there is what they talk. That's what they told me about in Dare when they said that the drug dealers would give me a free sample so I would come back for more. I never got free drugs, but like that right there, that's temptation.
Yeah, that whole set, because the other one isn't one of
Tress of the Emerald Sea and the Sunlit Man, I think. So it's like 3. The other 2 are standalones.
Why would you start?
I think it's the Sunlit Man. It might not be the Sunlit Man. I could be wrong. It could be the one with the birds. I haven't read the bird one yet.
Isles of the Emberdark.
Emberdark, yes. I haven't read that one yet.
That makes way more sense than Sunlit Man. Sunlit Man. So I have a friend who started the Cosmere with the Sunlit Man.
Oh, what an odd place to start.
Have you read the Sunlit Man?
I have not. It's like on my list, and I keep looking at it, and I keep reading the description, and I'm like,
you should read it because when you read it, you'll understand why I'm like, this is such an odd choice to start the Cosmere with.
Literally, drop yourself off anywhere in the Cosmere, and here it is. That's what happened to what's his name at some point. Yeah, he just appeared
at some point. Well, I'm very excited for your journey through the Cosmere, Brandon.
When you get there, when you finish, we'll have a celebratory discussion.
I'm gonna hit it pretty hard. Once I'm caught up with Dungeon Crawler Coral, I don't have any other series pending other than the only real.
There's no more DCC, so you have to read something else.
Yeah, and I don't want to start a new Realm of the Elderlings just yet.
All right. Well, have you met Vin yet? You probably met Vin, our main character.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll get to know a lot more about Vin. She's pretty sweet.
Cool people.
I didn't want to get too into it. I don't really know what prompted me to like pull it up at work the other day because I was like, I'm going to start it, knowing that I was still trying to get through Parade of Horribles.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, I hate to backburner it, but I want to give it 100% of my energy, not partial energy.
Yeah. Okay, so these seeds were random. I randomized the seeds on these ones. Said this one probably should have been a finals match. This one it could be in the finals, but it's going to be in the first round, unfortunately. And this is Boromir versus Ragnar.
I mean, I love Ragnar, but Boromir is one of the worst deaths.
Boromir, yeah. Ragnar is so sad, but Boromir is worse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. Okay, we'll go back to the top. We have Ned Stark versus Bianca D'Angelo.
Ned had such honor. I don't know much about Bianca, so I can't say, but I would say Ned, especially because he got done did dirt.
I don't know.
I was mad. I was so mad. How can you be so stupid?
I want to say Bianca D'Angelo.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I know. Look at the logo.
So here's how I'm gonna be. Here's how I'm gonna be the tiebreaker here. Are we going off saddest or most shocking?
A saddest, I think.
Then I gotta say Bianca, just because Ned was shocking, and it was sad.
Ned was so stupid leading up to everything that happened.
Well, and then the whole we're gonna let him live. Yeah. We're gonna let him live. Just kidding.
And then Joffrey just makes the most boneheaded decision.
I say I was so mad, mad, so long.
So was his mom. So was everyone.
When we watched the show the first time, I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was looking at the other people, being like, yes, yeah. I know what you don't.
My wife just got to the Red Wedding on her watch through.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
That one's hard. I remember reading it, and I'm just standing there what just happened? Yeah. I put the book down. I walked away. I came back, read it again. It didn't just happen.
Yeah. All right. The next matchup is Dobby versus Tony Stark.
Rude.
Oh, well, I randomized seeds. We'll do it to you.
That one's really hard. Only because I love Tony's
I was gonna say I'm probably gonna go with Tony.
Especially I Love You 3000. That destroyed me.
I Love You 3000 is.
I'm gonna let Anna play the tiebreaker here because I'm going Dobby just because I've been reading comics my whole life, and we all know people never stay dead.
Yeah. And they're doing it dirty in the MCU anyway.
And now we're gonna have an alternate version of Tony Stark who's Dr. Doom somehow.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that
decision. Oh, it's so silly.
They should have just not deaded him in the first place, is my opinion.
No, I love his ending. I think that is a beautiful.
But I'm saying why bring him back as Dr. Doom? We should have just not
to sell tickets. It's just to sell tickets.
Yeah. Just to sell. They saw that their performance through phase. The phase after Infinity, or
I don't know, man. I'm excited for the new Spider-Man, but not so much for the new Doctor Doom. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit different. They brought back
their two biggest directors, the two big money makers, the brothers, and then they brought back the face of the MCU. Yeah, because there's rumors that
Chris Rogers is, or because
Chris. Yeah, he's supposed to be in it. He's supposed to be possibly Captain Hydra in this one, which is a comic. Thing they did where he was a sleeper agent for Hydra the whole time.
That was
very much against.
So are we jumping timelines now? Is that what's happening?
Basically.
Well, we have the multiverse to deal with.
Yeah.
My only thing is they're introducing the X-Men, which I hope finally get a fair shake. Movies were okay, some of them, the first few. But when I watched the Doctor Doom trailer and I saw the comic accurate Cyclops doing the beam in the sky, and he's got the yellow strap and the blue X, and I was like, okay, maybe we're finally getting
the
something
X-Men
worth seeing.
97 show gave me such great hope that the MCU can do a good X-Men.
That should have been on your list. That honestly, one of the saddest deaths I've seen in the last 5 years was in that first season.
Legit. That one probably should have been.
My favorite X-Man, nonetheless.
So sad.
Have you seen it, Anna?
I have only. Okay, this is gonna sound really dumb. I've only watched the X-Men animated series in Greek.
Okay.
So the translation was always a little bit off.
Hard to have that Cajun accent.
So yeah, Not quite as iconic, but I did watch was it the Ultimate Spider-Man or the Amazing Spider-Man, where we got to a point where like Fury introduced him to Wolverine, and then Wolverine was just the X-Men were just part of Spider-Man. So I did watch all of that. That was like a really long time ago.
Fair enough. Well,
I grew up with those cartoons, so.
Yeah.
Well, in Cyprus, there really wasn't like tons of TV to watch, so those old Spider-Man ones and the old X-Men and like weird like the Tick, like stuff that like nobody was watching in the United States. I loved the Tick. Nobody knows what I'm talking about when I mention the Tick.
Oh, I love the Tick. Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was kind of like it was like the heyday of like Warner Brothers animation, like back before when Warner Brothers was its own thing.
Maniacs kind of thing, you know. It's very.
It was
but the
cute,
Tick was
though.
great. They made a show for Amazon that was actually pretty good.
I saw it and I didn't watch.
I didn't love it to put a lot of more adult themes into it, like with mental health and things like that. But
Oh, okay.
I was just Patrick Warburton being the Tick. The original live action Tick was Patrick Warburton.
That's cute.
This is like 1997. So it was like right after the cartoon.
That one I did not see, but that sounds really cool.
I just love Patrick Warburton's voice.
All right, back to the list. We still need a final decision on Dobby versus Tony Stark.
I don't want to be the tiebreaker because I cried. I remember I cried when they both died. I'm trying to think of when I was like 12 when Dobby died, though. So to be fair, but maybe I was postpartum when Tony Stark died, so that might not be a good. I'm gonna go with Tony because I'm still sad about it when I think about it. I've come to accept Dobby's death because I feel like
it's been a while. We buried
not
him.
just been a while, but it was a noble death. Like he died with purpose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean it wasn't? They got away. He rescued everybody from being tortured. Oh, I thought you said it wasn't. I was like, what do you mean?
Sorry. All right. Next up, we have K2SO from Rogue One. And we have,
Katie Urzo, Jin Urzo's mother.
Yeah. K2SO is the droid.
K2SO. I heard Jin Urzo.
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah. Versus Wayne.
I'm still gonna say Wayne.
I'm still probably gonna say Wayne. Let's see. K2.
Well, I mean, he's a robot technically, so it's still sad.
So it's less sad. It's less sad. He can be rebuilt. It'll be fine. So Wayne is going to get moved on to the next round. And next up, we have from Red Rising versus Boromir.
Boromir.
Yeah, probably Boromir.
Yeah, because in all due fairness, without EO's death,
none of this was a plot death. It was a catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to happen.
And that's the thing. She only meant something to Darrow.
Which is sad.
Well, I don't know. She becomes, what do they call her, Persephone later?
Yeah, Persephone.
Yeah.
So she becomes
that's her death, though.
Yeah,
that makes
exactly.
it. So without it, she never would have become the symbol of everything. I guess I'm gonna have to finish Red Rising. I just like the fact that Darrow's somewhere on a beach in my mind with his kid and his lady, and they're all alive and nobody's dead.
You need to finish it.
Yeah.
I know.
But that's the greatest thing about it is how he veils a lot of anti-war into this kind of stuff. Like how
you see the cool sweetness of Darrow and how he is able to be this charismatic, like almost cult leader, and how he draws followers to him like a cult leader does. But you also see how that can have devastating effects when used in war and used to the ends that he seeks. So it's such a good series.
It is. It's a good thing you took a gap because you almost have to kind of treat it because of the time.
Well, there's a 10-year or 15-year something between. Yeah.
There's
I figured if I could put a couple of other stories in between, it'll feel like 15 years, and then I'll get like the full effect.
But there's some seriously heavy emotional. It's wild, and me and Casey have talked about this a lot because there's a lot of undertones. There's a lot of hidden meanings to like even chapter names and stuff.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, even like just the first 3 books, like I feel like it's building up to a sentiment on. I guess I haven't read the other ones, but because it's definitely not anti-war in the beginning. Everybody's going to war,
Yeah.
But I can see how it's laying the groundwork for this like epiphany moment. I'm hoping.
Well, and it's about how especially once the second series comes out. The first one is about the necessity of violence in a revolution, about how
Yes.
violence in a violent system where violence is used to keep the system in place, violence is necessary to upend that system. And then the second part of the series is about the cycle of violence that keeps churning once you start violence, and how it expands and gets bigger and greater, and the snake is eating its own tail. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Liberation versus leftist, and then we get into anti-fascism. I love it.
It's great. But
all of my favorite subjects lined up in a row.
Were you gonna say something, Brandon?
I was just gonna say, I feel like the second set of the books, I believe it feels like it's built a lot on. There's a quote by Lorne in the first 3 books where he says,
"Death begets death."
"Who those who
Death begets
feast
death
on."
begets death.
Well, he says, for those who dine on war and empire, the bill comes due in the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one of those, like, even the heroes have to suffer.
Yeah. I love the lines that, like, everything that Lauren spits is great, but the one that really hits the hardest for me is how he wishes that Darrow would have been one of his sons, and he wouldn't have raised him to be a great man. He would have raised him to be a kind man and to treat others well.
Yeah.
And that
which is so sad, because I feel like those are all of the reasons why Darrow even agreed to do what he was gonna what he did, was because he was so caring. Within his original family unit.
Yeah. That's the whole thing, because one of the hardest hitting deaths in my mind, especially from the first 3, is when Tactus gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's right there at that, I want to be good, and he's like, oh my God, he's having that epiphany moment where he's like, I should have just trusted Darrow from the beginning. And then, Lorne just...
Yeah.
So then, later on, Lorne's like, hey, I might have made a mistake. Maybe you were right. Maybe I'm just, because then Lorne's like, I'm realizing that you're actually charismatic enough to change people. And I didn't.
But then we also, in that same book, we get him failing and not being charismatic enough to save Rogue. Yeah. And that, again, Rogue supremacy. I love Rogue. We've all established that I love Rogue. But
I did too. He was my favorite for a good chunk of time until he had his little turnabout face.
Uprising.
Yeah, I like how there is a character to represent so many very prominent points of view. When talking about just navigating politics in general, I feel like there's a lot of people that can identify with Roke's struggle. You know what I mean? And his because he valued knowledge and almost well, it was in this book, so it must be right, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how Elend in the beginning of Mistborn, where he's like, well, I understand the theory of government, so why doesn't my government work?
Why does my government
I read all the books.
I read every book on how to govern well. Why do the people still want to go to war? I don't understand. Spoiler.
But it's like that, too much book knowledge, not enough real. Because I remember there was a scene where Roke and Darrow are talking, but Darrow's talking from the perspective of being underneath the boot, and Roke, no matter how you look at it, he is still the boot. He might be a boot that steps lightly, but he is still a boot.
Well, yeah,
he might have feathers in his boots, but he's still a boot.
Yeah, he is still upholding the system that systematically grinds Reds into the Martian soil. It is so good. But we have to move back to...
we have to go back to what we were talking
about. And we have to talk about Bianca D'Angelo versus Tony Stark.
Bianca versus Tony Stark.
I don't even know. I don't even go about this. I cried when Tony died. I cried when Bianca died.
Right? It's a struggle when you cry when everybody...
Well, and part of the sad and the tragedy of both of these deaths is all of the people who they leave behind. We've got Nico getting left behind, and this is why I will probably ultimately side with Bianca, and that is because Nico, Bianca was the only person who Nico had in the world. He lost his mother. His father is Hades. He can't spend any time with him. He spends the entirety of the next book trying to find and just have a conversation with Bianca. He thinks that Bianca abandoned him. He thinks that his only friend and the person who he looked up to most in the world betrayed him and let his sister die. Bianca D'Angelo is my pick for the tragic death here.
I don't know much about her, but I was just very sad about. But you know what? At the same time, I feel like if Tony hadn't died, then Spider-Man wouldn't have had to fuck up a spell.
Yeah.
Spider-Man wouldn't have messed up a spell that then made him, result in him having to cast another spell, but get what's his name to cast another spell to make everybody forget. I'm very interested to see this next. It's going to be depressed Peter Parker.
I'm so excited, as he should be.
Is there going to be a symbiote in this one? Is it? There's not going to be like a Venom crossover, or is it?
It's heavily speculated.
I haven't watched any trailers. I've been trying to avoid stuff because I hate watching trailers and getting like the wrong perception and then like it not living up to what I thought it was going to be.
It's not in the trailers. There's no symbiote in the trailers, but Zendaya has been wearing black at all of the.
But there was also a scene with what's his name at the end of. Yes, there was that scene where he leaves the little blob at the bar when he like zoops out of the reality or whatever. Yeah. And I don't know if that was because the timelines are still like
messed up,
crossing and people are still blipping in because he's technically from a Peter Parker timeline or what, or if they're all on the same timeline. I don't know.
They like to merge. They like to cherry pick parts of stories because I'm getting a lot of one of my favorite Spider-Man trade paperbacks I have is called The Other. And it's like Evolve or Die, and it's this whole thing about spiritual spiders and all this other stuff, and it really gets deep, and he has to evolve, like, and it's kind of like in the trailer, like where he's becoming a spider in ways.
Spiders have 3 life cycles.
Yes.
I feel like they're picking them, but then, you can't ever guarantee that they're going to follow, like look at Civil War comic versus Civil War movie are 2 completely different stories.
Look at Supergirl.
Yeah.
Did it come out? I told you I just watched Superman recently. I haven't watched Supergirl yet.
How did you like Superman?
Okay, so going back to what I was talking about, how like in the heyday of Warner Brothers, like did you ever watch Smallville?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this Superman movie gave me Smallville vibes. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just like for something about it, because I don't like Superman. I liked the Lois and Lane TV show from like long time ago. It was like live action people-y one. That one was really, really good. And then I watched the Smallville. But like every Superman movie that I've ever watched, I've just been bored. I also don't love Captain America movies. Like I feel like Captain America and Superman are like the same for, Marvel versus DC. So I've never really been super enthralled with them. But this movie, maybe it's just because how they positioned him. I really liked it. I liked how it had all the elements of like government corruption.
I mean, the clear parallel with with Israel and Palestine.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, and I think the newest Superman, they made it more of a human story versus more of an American story. Yeah. He wasn't the Boy Scout, truth, justice, and the American way.
Myself. Yeah. People were going to die. Goosebumps. I love that movie so much.
It is great.
I like the part where like, he's living up to this message that he believed, like he had a message, right? Mm-hmm. From his parents to do the most good. And that's how he's always like conducted himself. But then somebody comes up with it. You can call it the original version. You can call it an alternate version because it's not the version that he's been following this whole time. You know what I mean? And then because of what somebody else said of, his practice, his creed, his religion, whatever, now we have to turn against him, and now he's the bad guy. Everybody has to villainize him because it's him against all of us. Yeah. And I really like kind of the sentiment of like maybe we shouldn't do that to people.
Well, and Lex Luthor's always been big on xenophobia. Yeah. He's an alien. He's an alien.
His little hate speech there. I was like, ooh, spicy.
But
I would suggest, Anna, you should go read the original Civil War Marvel comics. Yes. Because it will make you respect Captain America so much more.
I was gonna say you'll like it way more.
Because Captain America is like the anti-Nazi superhero. Like Hydra is like a Nazi organization, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Science.
And the red guy, he's like basically
the Red Skull. And then Baron Zemo, he's Helmut Zemo. He's But there have been times, and honestly, I think it depends on who's writing it. But Captain America at one point was like, he's no longer a representative of the country. He doesn't like where things are going. So he's like, and they did that in the movies when, they did Stealth Cap and he grows the beard out and he's got the dark suit. He's not all red, white, and blue anymore because he's wanted, and he has times where he's very human.
I did watch I liked the Civil War movie more than the original Captain America. Like the first Captain America movie to me was just kind of like,
like they tacked that on just for exposition, just for some backstory and to sell,
I still cannot forgive him for going back in time and messing with that woman's entire life just so that he could have a happy ending at the end of the Marvel
Comes
movies.
back looking kind of like Joe Biden.
But it creates a whole different timeline. Like
I don't understand how her granddaughter, who she had with another, her granddaughter is the daughter of somebody who what's her name? I can't remember her name right now. You know who Agent Carter had with another man who at some point helps them do something very important and vital to the plot.
This is a different timeline.
But he can't go back in time though.
A different timeline. That was the whole point of the time travel in that movie, is that's why he had to go back.
He had children, she had grandchildren, and he just
a different timeline.
And did you watch The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is a continuation of what happens?
I haven't.
She's one of the main characters. She's one of the main characters in that. She shouldn't technically exist at that.
But
it's like, but that's the thing. The plot holes always get filled with it's another timeline.
Did you guys not watch the scene where the Grand Wizard was explaining to Hulk how the timelines work? And she's like, yeah, if you take a Infinity Stone out, then it makes another timeline. Because you're not going to change your current timeline by going back. You're just going to make another timeline that shoots off, because that's how the multiverse works in
But have you watched Loki?
Yes, I have watched Loki, and he is the multiverse. He allows the multiverse to exist. So it can be branching timelines. It doesn't have to be the one sacred timeline. It can be branching timelines, because Loki is doing his thing and holding the multiverse together.
But what I'm saying is that Agent Carter existed in the same timeline as all of this is happening, as did her granddaughter, as did him going back in the timeline to put the Infinity Stone, because it's all the same timeline.
No.
Yeah, because the Falcon and Winter Soldier is all about how the Falcon is taking over as Captain America
in Marvel.
You can't take something out of the beginning of a timeline. They even talk about this in Loki. You can't take something at the beginning of the timeline and then not put it back in the same. It has to go back. That was the whole thing about maybe we shouldn't be going back in time and messing with reality. Because it wasn't just creating new timelines. It was breaking reality, not creating a new timeline.
Because that's not how timelines worked in the Avengers movie when they did that. And then because at that point the TVA was still making it one sacred timeline, but then at the end of Loki season 2 he allows the multiverse to exist, which allows branching timelines. So now Captain America can go back and be with Peggy in one timeline, and the timeline, and he can put the Infinity Stones back and live through the time. That's why he's old, is because he had to live through all that time so that he wouldn't mess up.
He didn't have to. He wanted to, because he wanted to steal that woman's entire life. But he could have blipped right back to where he was. That was the whole thing. He could have blipped back, but he chose to stay because he wanted to live his life with her.
Yeah.
But that completely rewrites the history of the person who's in the same exact, the same movie.
It creates a branching timeline. Do you not understand that? That is the whole point.
No. Here's the thing, Casey. Here's the kicker. I completely understand what you're saying, but here's the problem: is when he went back in time, and he branched that timeline, right? So we're in the branch where he's old.
Yeah.
Okay. He gives the shield to Falcon.
Yeah.
Which leads into the show where Sharon Carter is helping them defeat Zemo.
But he can't exist in that timeline.
She can't exist because she was never born.
Because she's the granddaughter of a completely different man.
But he still had the ability to travel through timelines at that point. That's why he is old there, is because he lived out his entire life in this branch timeline and then jumped to their timeline.
But he can't because he had to replace the Infinity Stones in the. That was the whole thing that they were talking about different. The stones had to go back to the same timeline that they were taken from.
He went back, replaced all of the Infinity Stones first. That was the first thing.
And then jumped again to another timeline to steal her other.
No, and then he lived through all that time, so he wouldn't mess up any time. And then he got to the time when he met her. He got with her. It creates a branching timeline where he lives with her, grows old, does all this, and then he goes from that timeline, uses the device to go back in time.
So you're saying that he does travel from a different timeline?
Yes, that is a different timeline, Steve Rogers, who has lived basically 3 lifetimes. That's because his aging is basically stopped. That's the whole reason. He has lived like a millennium of time because he lives until she died. Like she lives until she grows old.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like at this point it just means they can take any plot hole and any unfinished timeline and it's just from a different timeline now. Like
they've been doing that. They've been doing that since comics existed.
Yeah,
this is like, but you know what? This shit is playing out in all parts of society. Because have you seen what they're doing with video games now? We don't even get real discs. We get the ability to use the software. We get to license it now.
Yeah,
they're just taking substance away.
And you know whose fault that is, right? Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo did that first. The Switch 2. That's why I didn't buy a Switch 2.
Yeah.
And now
the
PlayStation.
Switch 2, I thought it had physical one. It doesn't have.
It does, but that your physical disc is just a contract to own the game. You still have to download the game on the Switch 2. They can take it. They can go in and go, you can no longer play this game and just take it from you.
But did you see the Zelda Ocarina of Time remake?
Well, I did. That's why I might have to.
The ground up. I can compromise my morals for $680 because that's going to cost $80.
I probably will.
It looks so pretty. It looks so nice. Did we finish our bracket or are we just yapping?
We still have to go. Okay, we've got.
Sorry, we had a very heated timeline debate.
Listen. I love a good timeline debate.
Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson when you need him?
Exactly.
Right.
That's probably not how timelines work in like lots of things, but that is how they specifically explained it to work in Marvel. Is that? I
think it's because too many people brought up this plot hole, and they were like, you know what?
Exactly.
Here, damn.
Yeah. So they do have a canon in explanation for it, but it's dumb and I don't like it. But that's why it exists.
We needed 6 timelines to make this make sense.
Exactly, literally.
Well, that way we could make 6 books, and then we could sell 6 times the amount of comics.
The final thing I'm gonna say. If all of this is true, which I'm not doubting you, I believe that you are telling me the truth. Why the hell did he make so specific about how you can't jump timelines and live? It just feels like that was a waste of I'm sure that scene cost at least $1 billion to shoot. So why did we shoot?
Yeah. Well,
we should have just put that whole thing
about how the dangers of time travel for himself, because he didn't want to change he didn't want to go back in time and live in a different timeline. He wanted to change the timeline that they were currently in. That was Tony's whole thing.
Yeah, it's a do as I say, not as I do scenario is what it is.
All right, back to our bracket for the final couple picks. We've got Wayne versus Boromir.
I'm a Boromir.
Oh, that's so sad because you haven't even... That one's really hard because he goes out so good. No, I cried. I remember...
Too, but
yeah,
I'm gonna be on the odd end there. I really was broken by Wayne. He was such a good character.
Also broke me. And now we've got Boromir versus Bianca D'Angelo.
I gotta go Boromir here. Sorry, Boromir is my
I'm going the other direction, but
in a corner.
I'm in the corner. Yes. But that leaves us with the final person, the most tragic death in fantasy sci-fi, and all of that is Boromir. He was the true son of Gondor. He was better than Faramir in every way, and I will go eat some tomatoes in the most disgusting way possible now.
Off your give yourself lead poisoning.
Yes, exactly.
Make your Hobbit manservant sing you a song while you eat your tomato.
Sing me a song, or your song's not fit for my home.
Man. Well, thank you
Hail
guys.
Denethor, huh?
Hail Denethor. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. Why don't you guys plug your pluggables?
Plug my plug. Well, I'm on TikTok, Kuyon Reader, but I'm not on there that much. Honestly, if you want to see me on social media, 99% of the time I'm here with you. So
That's true. That's a good point.
I've been so
And
busy. This is the one thing I do. So
we're always happy to have. And I am at Nerdy Mamas for all of your nerdy momming and parenting needs.
Yes. We love these guys. These guys are my consummate co-oracles. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for taking the time to nerd out with me and to listen to me explain my special interest of timelines.
we're gonna need a whiteboard next time.
What don't you understand? All of it. I don't understand any of it.
Dude, I have a whiteboard in the other room. I will draw you guys a diagram.
You're the guy from Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Literally. I did that when my wife was watching The Avengers because she brought up this whole thing too. I've had this argument.
Oh, so see, that's the thing, Annie. He's had this
Wait,
conversation.
let me get a pen and a piece of paper. Hold on.
Hold on.
Your question is, did you win that argument or
No.
did you lose? I
With
didn't
my
think
wife?
so.
No.
Yeah, no.
As it
Because
should be.
Even if you win, you lose.
Yeah, I just said, you know what?
But
you are beautiful and
it means you're
right.
winning at the
Exactly.
end.
Exactly.
If you're always losing in that regard, you're winning.
I'm winning, so.
Have y'all ever seen the Disney movie Meet the Robinsons?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite, and it's one of the best time travel movies of all time.
The lady
when
with
she
the
tells
coffee
him-
patches.
It does the other kind of time travel where
When she tells him at the end, she goes, and just remember, Lewis, I'm never wrong. Even when I'm wrong, I'm not wrong.
I'm never wrong.
it's great.
I like the little T-Rex, his little T-Rex arms. My head's too big and my arms are too small.
Little arms, and I'm not sure how.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do in this situation.
A duck. What are we gonna do with a duck? Oh, I think Luis is baking cookies. Bake them.
Very
cookies,
underrated
Lucy.
film.
Oh, I should watch that movie with the kids. They haven't seen it. I
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
seen that in
That's
years.
A classic.
That's a great one.
I love it.
It's great.
You know what
found
reminded me
footage.
of it was it wasn't the Robinsons, it was the killer robots attack and the family's on like a road trip when it happens or something. You know, it's like
Yeah,
the dog looks like a loaf of bread.
they're making a sequel
Dog
to that
loaf,
actually.
dog loaf. What is it called?
Dog love.
Something
Anyway.
Save the Universe, isn't it?
I'm gonna plug my pluggables quick since we've gotten off topic once again. This is the nature of this podcast. My name is Casey. This is the Oracle Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Spotify, on everywhere where you podcast, on TikTok, everywhere at the Oracle Podcast. Be sure to like us on wherever you're listening and follow us. And back to Anna's little rant. What was the movie called, Anna?
I don't know. I can't find it.
Dog Loaf the movie coming to theaters near you. All right, we're gonna end the episode there, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and maybe I will cut in a little editorial thing with
Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Nailed it, you guys.
Mitchell's versus the.
That is my sign off. Mitchell's versus the Machines. Casey, we want
And we're
your
done.
whiteboard, and we want you to tell us what you think about that next time.
All right, I will
Yes.
I will get my whiteboard, and I will have a full written essay on my whiteboard about my
Alternating branching timelines.
exactly.
No, 100%. I laughed so hard watching that.